Okay, I'm recording. It's been a while. I'm not sure I can still do this. It's so hard. Hey guys, welcome to Split. Today we are talking about the Galaxy Z Fold 3, a phone that goes from that into that. Yes, ridiculous. So basically on the outside, a 6.2-inch screen that somehow becomes a Hulk and becomes a 7.6-inch screen. Phone to tablet, great. So far they've been a gimmick, but I think Samsung has one of the better designs because it protects that soft screen by keeping the fold on the inside, unlike some others I've seen so far. Secondly, they have managed to make the third version of this water resistant. I mean, I'm talking about IPX8. So you can submerge in about 1.5 meters of water for a while and it will survive, even with the hinges, right? Which is a good feat. With all that, it still begs the question, we've had this for what, over 3 months now. Who should be buying this device and the kind of people who would find this useful? That's what this video aims to analyze, right? It's not so much about the tech specs, but who is it for? Let's talk about it. Okay guys, as I was saying, you're probably thinking, I already know who should buy this phone. It's people who can afford it. That wouldn't be a fair assessment because some people may get this for free, get it subsidized at work, or have it traded in by their carrier. But even at that, should you get it? That's what this video is about. Do you fall into the category that this would help? Let's start with the people who dress like this. You know, the business casuals, the on-the-move business guy. Is this how the business people dress now with COVID and all? If you're a business guy and you typically want to travel light on the move, you're used to taking your iPad or tablet, this phone doubles in a sense as both those devices. When you're opening documents or editing Excel or looking at PDFs, you don't have to squint into that tiny screen because this transforms into a decent sized tablet that allows you to edit figures and read them more easily on the go. If you're attending a meeting, for example, this thing has something called flex mode that takes advantage of both sides of the screen, basically making them independent of each other, right? So you could be attending a Zoom meeting or a Teams meeting at the top and be taking notes at the bottom or sending a message immediately, basically multitasking like a regular PC. This is something you would struggle with a normal phone, even though a normal phone would be able to do that if you squash the screen even more, but that's just crappy. This makes that a whole lot easier, which is pretty cool, right? So that's a plus. Editing docs on the go, easy reading, attending, and multitasking. And in terms of multitasking, I'm just putting it lightly. This thing is a multitasking ninja. If you swiped out the apps on the right, it will allow you add on, split the screen, whichever way you want, rearrange them on the fly, even add an extra screen in the middle if you need that extra space. So basically about 5 screens at the same time. Like I said, multitasking ninja. So again, that's a plus, something that you would struggle with a standard phone if you were a business guy. Then you have the advantage of the stylus. Keep in mind, this is a special S Pen, right? It is designed with a soft tip so it doesn't damage the soft screen, but because you know this is a plasticky screen on the inside, so it won't survive a harsh tip like your regular Note series, or even your fingernails can damage this. And it does warn you when you start the phone. So this is specially designed, even if you push hard against it, it retracts it so it doesn't damage the screen. So yes, you do have the advantage of writing, again, while watching meetings or taking notes if you have to. But here's the con for that. If you are typically a note user who was used to taking notes the minute you pull out your phone, keep in mind that this pen will not work on the exterior screen, which is a regular Gorilla Glass. This pen is not designed for that. That's one. So you have to go through the pain of opening this phone. If that was the plan, always to make your friends go, oh, cool. But that extra step is there. 2, there's nowhere to keep this. Naturally, it doesn't house in like the standard Note series. So you're gonna have to buy an ugly case, right? So something sleek like this will transform into, this is one of those cases. There are better cases out there, but this is what I got, into that. So you get this big behemoth, which reminds you of the Nokia communicator from back in the day, which was synonymous with people who used to dress like this. But that's it, you have to deal with this bulk if you want to hold this package everywhere you go for that advantage that it brings. Keep that in mind. And the extra bit is that you have to buy this pen separately. If you didn't buy it, I think I'm not sure right now, but most people who bought this phone early this pen came with it and probably gave you a case, throw in. Not everybody has north of $1,800, but in most cases that's an extra pen. There's even a S Pen Pro you can buy, but still that's something else to store you could lose somewhere, right? So keep that in mind, you business tycoons. Gamers. If you're a gamer, the fundamental thing you need to worry about on your device, first of all, is the power. How much does it need? In terms of when I mean power, I don't just mean the battery, I mean the juice it takes to process those games. So this phone, the Z Fold 3, is running Snapdragon 888. It's 5G, and it can do 12 gigs of RAM. More than enough to run most games today, right now, without tripping up. You could argue that there are better gaming phones out there with stronger 888 Plus and above, more RAM, but where they would probably slip back in comparison to this would be, again, boom, that real estate. The amount of screen this thing brings to the table just sort of sets it apart, if you ask me, because how big can you get your game to be? And that's where the advantage is for gamers. So if you're a gamer and somehow you're able to afford this phone, that's the only real advantage I see. Yes, it will run the games, but the real estate is fantastic. In terms of actual power, this time not about the processing power, but power, battery life. This thing has a 4,400 milliamp battery, so it will last. There's enough to take care of that screen. And speaking of the screen, Samsung pretty much makes the best screens on mobile phones, sue me. I think they really make fantastic screens. So, and this is no slouch. This will hit 1,200 nits. So in direct sunlight, you will be able to game conveniently, no stress. So it does have its advantages for gamers. But again, keep in mind, this screen is not glass, it's soft glass. So you gotta be careful not to use your fingernails by accident. I don't know who does that, but it does happen if you have really long fingernails. You could dig actually into this glass and start to damage it. If you have a streaming service like xCloud and other things, even better. That makes this, which it does support by the way, that makes this a solid compatible device. And then when you're done, it just folds back down into a cell phone size. Even though it is still a bit bulky, it slips into your backpack or whatever. Gamers have backpacks. Again, stereotyping, I don't know. But it does fold into the convenient size of a cell phone and it will slip into the front pocket of your jeans or skirt or boxers, or whatever it is you're rocking as a gamer. But if we go to general usage, right? You're just the average guy who wants to buy a phone. The only reason you would want a phone that folds is A, you want to show off to your friends that your phone opens up. B, you're in either of the two categories that I spoke about earlier and you're able to afford it. Or C, this thing just sort of landed on you. You know, you're just one of those guys who has to have top of the line, the weirdest phone, and just stand out in the crowd. But if you're an average Joe, this thing is one, bulky, two, not very practical because the front 6.2-inch screen is slender. However, when you want to type, that keyboard is so slim, you will miss a beat. The swipe is great. If that's your thing, then you'll be great. But if you try to type, it's so slim that you're gonna struggle with two thumbs. The buttons are slimmer, they're crushed up, so you're more likely to hit the wrong key while typing. Two, some of your apps, a lot of apps, are not optimized for folding devices yet. They are getting there, things like YouTube and Teams, not Instagram, for example. Instagram sometimes forget that you're back on this screen and starts to act weird. It makes you go in, instead of just unmuting for sound, it makes you go into the Reels playlist just to hear what you're looking at. It can be messy. So rounding this up, it is a good device. It is odd. It will get attention whenever you unfold it. Ooh, whenever you fold it back, but is it practical? If you're that businessman that wants to travel, carry less devices, this can function as a phone and tablet at the same time. Easy peasy. We can debate it, let me know in the comments below. But if you're a gamer, you're more likely to invest in something that has accessories that will allow you, and you're most likely gonna go to a big screen anyway, and your phone will be the interim in between. Just say it again, we can have that conversation in the comments below. For the price this is kicking out, and it not being dust proof, even though it is water resistant, dust is more than likely to get in here, and I think ultimately that may be a problem, although it does come with Samsung Care for most people who got it early for about a year. But yeah, still, you're gonna baby this no matter what. You're gonna be feeling, it's not gonna feel like a typical phone in your hand all the time if it's not in a jack yet. Keep in mind that extra purchase for an S Pen, which you gotta get an ugly case to make this more of a behemoth to keep the pen with. There are some sleeker cases, but again, that's just one more thing to carry because of a phone you have. So, and those are my thoughts on who should buy the Z Fold 3. Great device, but I don't think it's for everyone. Let me know what you think in the comment below. It's that season. We're gonna start a series where we're just giving stuff away from the studio. If we send us a message, or we'll just find you in the street. But you gotta win it. You have to know what you want and answer questions about it. That's it, that's my time. Guys, don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Take care.